just 2 cups of any berries. You can actually use even frozen berries. And you take 2 tablespoons of raw honey, raw unpasteurized honey, and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds.
What is it?
Chia seeds, do you remember I showed you last time? We have a flax seed, which we have to use as a ground. We have to ground them, they're a little bit bigger. And we have chia seed. Flax seed has to be only ground, because if you eat it not ground, you're gonna meet them in your poop later. They go through the system without being effective.
Они не перевариваются.
Не перевариваются at all.
Их надо
You have to ground them and add it everywhere you can, because it's a great source of plant omega-3.
Но ты blend и right away ты кушаешь.
Yeah, you can actually, what I do, I take the coffee grinder, I fill it up with the flax seed, I ground it, and I put it in a little jar and I keep it in the fridge. And through the week I eat it. You can add it to your salad. You can put it in your yogurt. You can put it in your cereal.
Это тоже
И это то же самое. But those ones you don't have to ground. They're so small. The chia will be okay without being grounded. And what they will do, and another thing, chia and flaxseed can use as a substitute for eggs in baking. Because when you put a little bit of water in it, you can see it become gel, and it looks like a sopli, you know, it looks like an egg, you know, like a gelated white. Only people who know what I'm talking about. Okay. But chia seeds in this recipe will create this jelly thing. Become friends with me on Facebook, Yelena Milter, go on Facebook, because I always find the recipe like 10 different ways to use chia seed. You know what they do? They make chia in water or in almond milk and add cocoa and make the pudding. It looks exactly like chocolate pudding, because when it absorbs water, it becomes like gelatinous, and people love it, and children eat it, people who like pudding. You know, North Americans constantly eat puddings, you know. And it's, if you have a little jar, you can make a pudding and send your child to school, because it's a great source of protein, it's a great source of omega-3, and the cocoa powder, it's a great antioxidant, and you put almond milk or whatever it is, and if it's a jar which you can put the lid on, by the time it's their lunchtime.
You need to keep it in the fridge?
You keep it in the fridge, but if you made it and then you send it next day with the child to school, they're going to be okay for a couple of hours. It's not dairy. You know, it's going to gel even more. This is a lovely thing to make. Instead of our, как это? Традиция вкуса. And how much more cheaper. You can stop an organic store and grab, you know, something, you know, at the end of the day, you know, sale, whatever, and you have смотрите, we have 2 cups. It's gonna be a good 250 gram jar, exactly what this thing is, maybe even bigger. You know, this is a sweetness which it's a sweetener because you want to put maybe on your toast, on your blintzes, on, you know, something in your cake, in between, like between the layers. You make your cake. It's a nice, something nice to do, and you know that it's healthy, and you don't have to fight a fight with your family to, you know, to get it into them. They will take it. I will start with that. We'll stop with my recipe because I want to show you guys something. I don't know if everybody has it.
No,
it's a cool thing. If you ever in IKEA, take a look at this thing. The chocolate is always has to be done in double boiler. You put a small amount on the bottom, water that it doesn't touch. It only steam. It means temperature doesn't go higher than 100 degrees that water is. And you can
я делаю чашку керамическую. В нее бросаю шоколад и ставлю в воду.
Because
вода кипит, но шоколад сам горячий.
I will explain why I like this, because or you can use it because you can, first of all, it doesn't seep through. It has to be, you know, thin, because the water, the steams will get into the chocolate and will seize the chocolate. You know, the chocolate is a kind of a funny things to work with. If you get water, sometimes get into chocolate, it's become like This is why you use this thing. Where is my досточка? I was using here. I was using it's just because I am, you know, using маленькая шоколад, плитка шоколада.
That's a good chocolate.
John Wins food.
John Wins, exactly. It's John Wins, and it was like $50, 55.
That's a good chocolate.
And it's K-carb, yeah. And it's
What's the percentage of cacao?
it's a 55, which is not as good as it was a while ago, but check it, for sure they have it. Because I do use...
It was like 5 years ago.
No, I got it in the summer, I think. Look, I'm using this amount of chocolate. I want to tell you guys, in this dessert, as a sweetener, as a candy, try this, by the way, they're on the table. I'm using bitter sweet chocolate. Milk chocolate should be something which you don't have in your house. It's not good for anybody. But bitter sweet chocolate, without dairy, it's actually something which is healthy, which you should have sometimes, because it has antioxidants. It's good for you. And having occasional chocolate, and I have to tell you, if you try this chocolate, you know that you won't have, this is not a real chocolate. You try the chocolate and nuts. Because out of this size of chocolate, I made all these 3 desserts.
Этот шоколад нужно хранить в холодильнике или может на полке?
На полке.
А где это?
John Wayne.
А вот это, который Kosher Food продает,
They have a chunk chocolate too. You probably can get it. If you listen, if you know the appetite of your family. But guys, if you look at the recipe, if you look at your recipe, you can see that something else I did.
We're doing the pretzel.
Can you do me a favor? Can you turn to oven 480, something like that?
Нет, нельзя. Там наоборот есть, там мебельный магазин.
Но они...
Вот туда поворачиваешь.
Это буквально. Я имею в виду 250. Да, in Fahrenheit 255.
Если ты поедешь,
я не хочу, чтобы это было.
Елена, а что мы сейчас делаем?
Take a look at your next recipe. The first recipe, you can see what I did with the chocolate. I didn't just put this chocolate. In this chocolate, I added cocoa. I boosted up a little bit of the chocolatey part of it. I put 2 tablespoons of cocoa. I put cinnamon, because cinnamon is great for your blood sugar.
Это вот это? И pretzel, да?
Pretzel was this pretzel. It was gluten-free pretzel.
Ну это значит, они на картошке делают?
It wasn't, this is not any картошка. To tell you the truth, I don't usually buy those. This has a cornstarch, which I'm not a big fan of. I actually prepared to do here, today we will make those. It's spelt pretzels.
А что это за орехи? Они мягкие.
Okay, I would like you to listen to me just for a second. When I...
Ну, это не алмонд намоченный, это эти. Кеши? Кеши, да.
There is actually both. One platter has almonds. Take a look, guys. I soaked my almonds. I want again and again make a point. Let me pass with a little plate almonds, and I would like you to try the taste of soaked almonds. last class we talked about protein. We said when we're soaking every seed, every grain, when we soak, we make it more bioavailable, protein in it. And we make it more digestible. There are the two different things. Things which are not digestible, they actually make you feel sick. It doesn't digest it in your body well. Because there is something there, and then every grain has something which prevents it start growing when it's lying down on a field, for example, or on a shelf. You have to soak it, get these enzymes off, and then it won't make you sick. It will be digestible. But bioavailable, it means this protein become different. It become better for you than if you will eat it just lovely toasted. You know, like a beer nut. It's vkusno, it's nice, it tastes good, but it's not as good for you. And this is why in this chocolate which you have, I soak my nuts.
Overnight?
I soak just for 2 hours.
2 hours?
And you see, it's already different taste.
Overnight тоже можно оставить.
It можно
В обычной воде, да?
Вот you will notice
из-под крана, да?
Yes, I did it из-под крана. If you have a good water, it's better.
Okay.
Why I'm making the point, if you leave it for too long, it starts fermenting. It's sugar. You leave the water, it gets a little bit fuzzy. Can I ask you a favor? Can you do the tray? Put it to... I'm gonna not toast it. I'm gonna dry it. Why am I drying it? Because I don't want to be wet. But there is a very interesting thing. If we put it in a very low temperature in our oven, like
100?
Whatever lowest, 250 Fahrenheit, or it's very, very low, we'll dry it a little bit. It's the same thing if you put it in a dry area or under the sun. You dry it, but you don't kill enzymes which are inside. Do you remember what we said last time we met? Every food has enzyme inside which will break it down. If you leave it alone, it will digest itself. It's not only our stomach breaks down food. Food has inside. If we cook it right, if we don't kill it, it has enzymes to digest itself. This is why the nuts I use, I soak them. And then you know what I use? If you taste it, I want you to taste it and try to feel. Я лезу в холодильник, because I know that you said tamari sauce you have. Here it is.
Мне кажется, что сладенькое.
Try, do you feel the taste? A little bit of saltiness?
А что ты кушаешь?
Вареньки.
Because
Вот этого очень.
no, in raw nuts doesn't have tamari.
Okay.
But I'm going to toast it slightly. If you read the recipe, I toast it very, very slightly, and then I put tamari sauce, and I toast it again. If you go to health food store, you can see tamari. It's a fermented. It's a real soy sauce, real one, not the one which is made from caramel and salt. Tamari sauce, and it's something again, guys. You should invest for your cooking, and you should never buy regular soy sauce for $1.42. You should go and buy tamari sauce for what? $5.69. Because tamari sauce is a product of making miso. It's going to be now our next class, for fermented food. It's a real byproduct of making miso. It has B12, which is very, very important for all of us. It has B vitamins, and it's a very, very good for you. When I put in nuts, it makes nuts more digestible. Sometimes, I'm glad. You see, it's good. It's good you can. When you go to health food store, sometimes you can buy a tiny little baggie, like for $5, which has few nuts bag, little bag, little pouch. which has nuts with tamari sauce. It's just three conditions. It should be soaked, it should be dried, not roasted, and it should have tamari. And it's a great snack to have. It's a digestible, bioavailable protein with a fermented digestive health. Very simple. I put this into chocolate.
Можно без шоколада, да?
Можно без chocolate. You can do it without chocolate as a snack. But imagine if you, for dessert, you serve something which is a source of protein, which is a source of antioxidant, which is a source of cinnamon, which is balancing your sugar in your blood.
Если я начну перечислять.
Don't ever tell them anything. Just serve it. Do you think they will eat it? Do you think the people eat it? Especially if nothing next to it competing, you know?
Да.
And another part has a cashew, the same, but it's the same. I did the same, but with cashew. Yes.
For how long do you keep the
I want it to be dry.
And what is the temperature?
The lowest you can have.
Я тоже могу 250 lowest.
Lowest you can have. Like сейчас, оно чуть-чуть подсохло, and I will put a little bit of tamari. I put it like teaspoon. Yeah, just a little bit. And I put it back, it will absorb, and I will turn it off. And then
Новый нож. Это мой. Да? Оля, ну
а что ты режешь? I want to do.
Вот он ждал, видно, первого момента, когда ему доверили. У меня есть мой любимый другой.
Everybody have a find, you know, the comfort. Okay, guys, this is what we went through recipe.
Это многолетки.
In my, I want you to, guys, I want you to take a look in the recipe.
Чтобы так делать, он должен быть.
I add coconut oil. Did you leave it outside or no?
No.
Did you leave it outside? Oh, you left it outside? Very good. I add, did you see in the recipe? I add coconut oil. Yeah.
Вот после этого я купила coconut oil.
By the way, the fact that here we have a coconut oil, it again boosts up the health benefits of this candy. It's quite cold in the house. You know,
Это масло?
Да?
It's a coconut oil.
Сколько ты даешь?
2 tablespoons. I put it 2 tablespoons.
И что еще?
And then I was putting coconut.
У тебя есть как
And then you're gonna be continue with it. And I put the cocoa.
Я последний порядка это меньше, чем полноценность.
And cinnamon. By the way, we can put ginger too. Ginger chocolate. Давай положим ginger в это.
Сухой ginger или живой?
Dry. Because if you put something wet, it will seize the chocolate. You know, you can put some liquor if you want to make the chocolate like orange liquor, but you know that it's going to be seizing it. You know, it's going to be... Okay, guys, we went through our... I would have like teaspoon.
Ну я знаю, я там тоже была.
And then it's reaction. And we'll stir it with Okay, guys, this is the recipe I prepared for you. But today, open up this page, guys. Next bit is sweeteners. It's a good sweetness. First, I want to talk to you about something which we should use. And then I'm going to drop like a ton of bricks on the bad things. Sweet fruit. When we're baking, use your frozen bananas. Frozen bananas, fantastic source of sweetening baked things. Your bananas, your cakes, your smoothies. You don't need any sugar and any sweetener when you're making milkshake. If you put a couple of frozen banana.
Она взяла вместо сахара банан в маффинах. Не было не сладко.
No, you should add it. You should maybe add it too.
Но они там еще сахара, у него не хватило сахара, у него не
Do
хватило.
two, and you know what you can do? Make this thing sweeter. You bake two bananas, two frozen bananas in a body, frozen bananas. It make it actually sweeter.
Нет, свежие бананы были.
Make experiment. When you buy a banana, for example, organic banana on sale, you have a bunch of organic bananas. When I see organic bananas in a big things on sale, I come home, I peel it, I put it in a bag in portions, and I put it in the freezer.
Ты режешь?
I don't have to read, I just peel it. Because if you freeze,
я уже пробовала.
Exactly. It's impossible to get the skin off. You have to soak it or whatever. Like this, I peel it and I put it in a baking and I freeze it. It means for smoothie, I have my frozen banana, which creates thickness of a smoothie and sweetness. And you put your chia or your flax, and you put very good. Okay, and now guys, look what we can have. We won't turn it off. We'll leave it on. Let's do those guys. Let's do some of the dry. Kishi. No, let's have some parchment on this. No, just put the parchment paper on this. And then I will look what Olechka gonna be doing now. She's gonna be holding by the tail little pretzel with a special device, your two fingers, and she goes like this.
Нам надо в шоколаде самих делать. В шоколаде конфеты.
У тебя
А я сделала так курагу в шоколаде.
Я после того, как один раз сделала,
так, что делала курага. Я окунала его проклинала каждую минуту, когда я решила это.
Да, why? But I have to tell you, if I were you, I would take курага. And I will soak it.
Да, вот это же так же
удовольствие.
Съела сама. Я все говорю, я проклинала каждую минуту.
Okay, while our dear host is going to be, it's okay, Lavi, don't worry about that. Don't worry. You want to do? We can put.
I prefer the good.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's. By the way, this is candy. You know the candy is called Spherical?
Yeah, turtle. I love them.
When you take the candy called turtle, when you take just half of a walnut and dip it in real. And it becomes, you just dip it in?
It's caramel inside too.
I know. But держи за... We don't need it. Держи за середину. Две руки and wait for it to
Его надо в холодильник, чтобы оно
And then if you look at your recipe, it actually says, guys, that you put it in a cookie sheet covered with parchment paper and put it in your fridge or freezer. And it hardens because it has a coconut oil, and because it's a chocolate, it hardens like 10-15 minutes. And you put it in your container and keep it in the freezer. And you can do it on Monday, and you have your Shabbos treats ready. And you can ask little girls to do it for, capable of... Okay, let's open our page on sweeteners. I mentioned banana. Another great sweetener is dates. Take your dates. You take 5 dates, soak it in water, and you zap it, and you add it to your cakes, to anything. It's a fantastic sweetener. It has so many minerals. It's incredibly good for you. You can make a crust. It's one day I will show you this. It's a very lovely crust. You take almonds, grind almonds with a little bit of coconut oil and soaked date, and this is your beautiful crust for cheesecake. Or whatever it is, some cold cake which you're not going to be baking. You know what I mean? Something which, because coconut oil will make it hard, and it's nice and sweet. Okay.
Если нравится, я попущу.
Ну, продолжай. Давай сделаем. Whatever. Draw and catch. Okay. Bananas. Do you see, guys? Next page is stevia. Who knows what stevia is?
Травка.
Very good. It's a plant. And unlike everything else which people say is great and good for you, guys, stevia is something which should learn because it's a future for everybody. In your coffee, in your tea should be stevia. You can try it, put your finger or get a spoon, and you try the sweetness of it. And it's actually fantastic. You can have it in liquid form. It's what Ola has in the house. It comes in liquid form, and it comes like this as well. You can put a little bit on your hand. It has a name, the brand name, they call it Truvia. It's the same thing.
The same thing?
It's the same thing. It's sweet, and actually it's good for you. Why it's good for you? Because we know word probiotic. Guys, do you know what probiotic?
Yeah.
You know what probiotic is?
Yeah.
It's all the little bacteria which live in our body. But there is another word, and I want you to think about it. There is a prebiotic. Probiotic, these little bacteria have to live somewhere. You know where they live? They live on all the undigested things in our body, on what left from fruits and vegetables. And stevia, it's probiotic. It's something which prepares your body to be a good host for prebiotics, to be good host for probiotics. If you hear the word prebiotic, it means something which needed for good bacteria. They live in it. They need it. It means every time you put a little bit of your coffee or tea, you actually, first of all, it doesn't have any calories.
At all?
Not at all. It's unlike the best things which have the same claim, it's actually good for you. You have to get used to taste, and you can't use it in baking.
You cannot.
It doesn't work in baking. Because sugar creates kind of a structure when it cooks,
So where we can use this one?
Use it, sweeten your stuff. Sweeten your, you know what I did? I made a cake for Shabbos because we don't have meat. I made a cream. I whipped the sour cream with a little bit of stevia, and I had my own blueberry gel like these things, and this was my layers of my cake. It gives yummy taste, but you can use it, you can't bake it, but you add it into the creams. Okay, stevia. It's good for you. Look at the chart I made. See the good faces, smiley face? Because all these things are actually good for you. Because they have both. The fruit have a lot of microelements. It's not just energy. It's not just glucose. Look what goes further. Raw honey. Because we all get involved with GRCC, probably we all have at home raw honey. Do we?
Yeah. But not this year.
I got this year too. This year it was in the kindergarten. Huh?
Raw honey in the house,
raw honey doesn't require hechsher, by the way, because it's raw honey. Raw honey is great antibiotic, and it's a great mask for your face. If you ever let me get a little bit into. If you take a little bit of honey and put it on your face and go like this, it actually has a little massage. It cools the skin a little bit, and it's great for you. People who have acne, teenagers, should use it too because it kills bacteria. It's actually and it works as a scrub as well because it has a little particles on again, like with everything else, honey needs limit portions. We can't eat unlimited amount of our sweetness. Next one, it's a maple syrup. Yeah, we're Canadians, we see it, you know. It's good for you. Why it's good for you? Because it has a lot of minerals, you know. It goes in the body of the tree, you know, carries the juices of the tree. But it being, in order to stay like this on the shelf, it has to be processed. I mean, it's good, but it's not really alive. You can use it, but again, in limited amounts. Coconut sugar. It's something, guys, new, and I will probably need.
I love coconut.
It's something you should try. I want you to try and get to know some other sweeteners, because this one is a fantastic to put sprinkle on the top of your cookie, little bit.
Where did you buy all this stuff?
You can go. There is a store called. First of all, they're in Ambrosia in a garage. There is a store called Organic Garage. It's Westminster. You know the Atkinson. Yeah, it's Atkinson.
На этой плашке маленькой. А что у нас coconut sugar, что мы сказали? На этой плашке маленькой?
Yeah, the plastic was the shopper's drug. You want a spoon? There is a spoon, guys.
А что у нас coconut sugar?
Coconut sugar, it's a good. I would like to explain to you a little bit later idea of glycemic number and glycemic load. It takes a little bit of time and I won't do it today. But this coconut sugar have a low glycemic index. This is a cane sugar. It is called evaporated cane juice. Dachka, do you have scissors?
Да.
Because I'm fighting
Raw sugar.
Это не raw sugar.
It says raw sugar. I want you to look at the pictures because some of them called, there's a different name to it. Search for a raw. Less food is processed, better it is. Why? Because what it has inside is minerals which plant has. Do you want to search this girl to try?
Можно поподробнее про raw sugar?
It's a very interesting point. Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, people lived, they were strong and healthy, and they never had sugar.
Never. They didn't know that
They didn't know what they were missing because they never eat sugar. They had berries, they dried their berries, they had honey, they never had sugar. Sugar, it's relatively new invention. It's not more than 200 years old. And people who would have sugar, it would be rich people who would have sugar. You know, the hostess, the mistress of the house would have a key attached to her belt, and she would have a special box which she would keep sugar corn, голова, сахарная голова, and a tea. And it would be locked under and people will have a small pieces. And if you remember back our experiences, the кусковой сахар, the raffinat, it was so hard in the beginning that it didn't melt right away. People would crack it. It was a special cracking thing like a nutcracker. Why? Because it wasn't refined. It wasn't dissolved. Sugar which we have now, you know, it's so processed. You know, they say that sugar closer to cocaine on the effect on the body and dependency. Try to take away from children their candies. They behave like junkies. I need my lollipop. People create dependency. Comfort comes from a drug. What is the name of a drug? Sugar. Who were the pushers who started the dependency?
Бабушка.
Okay. Babushkas, for sure. Candyman and shul. But mothers as well. you know. We're fighting one холодильник. Look how lovely it looks, guys. Look. They're gonna go in the fridge and then we'll see what's gonna happen. Okay. You put it in the fridge or downstairs, and I will take our. And see получается? Okay, and let us do this one. And I will leave it again, continue. And now we take our nuts, which is a little bit dry, and we throw them into the chocolate. I would like you guys to notice how much stuff we're getting from a little 200, I think it was 300 grams of chocolate. It's like trays and trays of stuff. I think it's impressive, no? Mm-hmm. From the price point of view, you can make a couple of trays of food and it will cost you, you know, much less than it would be in a, if you're buying, you know, from store. Take a look what's the next one. Coconut sugar, raw cane sugar, organic molasses. Патока.
Это патока.
Патока. Патока, it's no. When they start making juice, making sugar, they take cane.
Стручок.
It's not стручок, it's actually cane. Тростник. Cane, как называется? Cane. Sugar cane. It's a cane, it's a long thingy. They break it down, they chop it up, and they boil it. And the parts of it become, they boil it for a while. Parts of it become dark and thick. It's whatever left over of the upper part which they collect and make lighter sugar. This is a molasses. Molasses, then they make rum out of it. Rum? Alcohol? Не пьешь? Molasses, we have a...
Я душу мясо и добавляю туда molasses.
Very nice. Molasses, you can add only a little bit. Because it has overpowering, it's overpowering taste. Smell it, but because it's a product of processing of sugar, guys, it has iron. It actually has a lot of very, very good minerals. It has a smokiness because they cook it for a long time. And you use it, this thing will last you for a year probably. Because we did the recipe once, when I was doing the desserts, healthy desserts, one of the recipes was molasses cookies. And they're very, very nice. They're very flat, they're very thin. And I made it with spelt flour, and it's actually, if we're talking about as dessert, can it be good for you? It's better to use something like this.
I did it, it
in
was
cookies.
good, nobody eat it very fast. This
is, you just said it. Nobody will eat a ton of this. I testify. I made my spelt challah. People say, it's so yummy. I'll take a couple of pieces. When you put this white challah, you know, it disappears. It disappears. One challah goes away, another challah. With this, I make 2 like this challahs for a meal. I had 7 people and 4 of us. It was 11 people at the table. 1.5 of challah like this. It's very interesting. It's not because it's heavy, and it's not because it's so satisfying. It doesn't create this hunger in you, not normal hunger. And it's a very good segue, little bridge, to next conversation.
Нет зависимости. Вот хочу.
I want to tell you something. There is a something in our brain. Let me draw the brain. It's a brain, guys. Our brain gets commands from our hormones which is in our body. There is two hormones, and for some reason, we know a lot about different hormones. We're all educated people. But for some reason, if I'll ask you, do you ever heard the word ghrelin?
Ghrelin?
Ghrelin. Not too many people know it. What is ghrelin? They say that fat people produce more ghrelin, and they eat more. Ghrelin is a hormone of hunger.
Я постоянно его продюсер.
I don't know the name of it in Russian. I never learned this in Russian.
Гормон голода. Гормон голода.
This is a hormone of hunger. Hormone of hunger would be turned off. You need to turn it on. Say, oh, I need food. I'm hungry. Listen, nobody hungry for pills. In order to take pills, we have special boxes to put, Monday, Friday, Saturday. Because why they make these boxes for pills? Because nobody have a desire for a pill. Like we wake up in the morning, feel like a pill. People have okay, you're right, you got it. Depends what kind of. But generally, we have desires for something which gives us satisfaction. Food gives us let's see, we want it. It's something satisfying. We want to be satisfied because another hormone, thank you, dopamine, produced when you have something which satisfies you. Dopamine is a hormone of joy. Dopamine. Удовольствие. It will produce in brain. If you eat something yummy, if something good happened to you, some people, they run. And they have a production of dopamine, which is called runner's high. Runner's high. This is something which is a biochemistry of human body. Ghrelin makes you eat. What stops you from eating? Another hormone, another switch. It's called leptin. It's a little bit different. There's horrible things exist, and you can find it everywhere. And every recipe, in every low-fat salad dressing, in some yogurts, in every soft drink. Only on Pesach we have Coca-Cola and other soft drinks. We have sugar, not corn syrup. Do you hear me, guys? People who buy for Pesach, kosher for Pesach soft drink, it's kosher for Pesach because during this time company uses regular white sugar instead of corn syrup. Now corn syrup is everywhere. It's cheaper to produce corn syrup than any other sweetener, and it's everywhere. This thing prevents body from producing leptin. Hormone, which stops your hunger. When you sit down with a nice big salad and say, oh, I have a diet dressing, low-fat dressing. Your low-fat dressing has a corn syrup. You will not stop eating this salad because your body doesn't produce the hormone which tells you, I am full. This is why people drinking things, pop, they can't. If you go to this you drive on a highway and you stop in, rarely stop in fast food places, McDonald's. Once I saw and I was shocked. They have a like this cup. And you can refillable. You buy it, I think, like for $3 or $5. They fill it up. You drink it, And on the next stop, in half an hour, because you have to stop, you have to pee, you can refill it again. It's scary, you know, it's scary. And it has this, because it makes you even hungrier.
Look, it's called beehive, so you think it's honey.
This is see how mean it is? They make it like this, they call it syrup. Very often there is it looks like this stand next to maple syrup. And people will make a mistake, oh, they will say, you know, it's like maple syrup. And every place when they serve blinchiki, whatever, blintzes, whatever, pancakes, Americans pour it with this. They put, you know, like this pancake. It's yeah. It doesn't mean it's good.
А maple
Генетический.
он жутко сладкий.
Put little bit.
Да, но там sugar в нем получается.
It's a natural sugar, yeah. Trees have a sugar. And it's, you know what, do you remember what is the березовый сок?
Да.
This is the same thing but it's from the maple tree. But what they do, березовый сок, we drink the birch tree juice, we drink in a white. This one they put in a big pot and they cook water out. They concentrate the sweetness, you know. They collect it from all the trees. Huh? It's a little bit sweet. Березовый сок a little bit. No, it has a little bit sweetness. But when you evaporate, it should be. No, I took it out. Yeah, here you can actually. Oh wait, you can actually take the spoon. See, a little bit. Stir it. You can put it with the little teaspoon. You can turn it on.
Oля, make this apricot.
It's already too late, and they're a little bit. It's already. And now you take with a spoon and start from like this. It's already there. And goes like this. Делай аккуратненько рядом друг с другом. Okay, guys. This is something. I didn't mention to you something else, and nobody told me. Guys, you didn't mention. Oh, because I didn't put it down. No, agave syrup. You heard agave syrup? Guys, did you hear agave syrup? You know what agave is? Who agave is? Agave is a very big aloe, kind of looking like aloe vera, but humongous. It's like plants. Very, 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 very big. Somewhere Arizona. They're grown in the desert, and like every desert plant, it has concentrated liquid and the minerals and the sweetness. They cut these big trees and they make the like a syrup. It was such a tremendous hype about agave syrup about a few years ago, like 5 years ago. Everybody's loving agave. Now they brought it back down because agave syrup has a quite a high of glycemic index, and they were saying it's good for diabetes, and it's not. This is why in my little picture, see, I put the person who is like a little bit sad but not crying yet. Сосредоточен. It's agave syrup and regular sugar. Regular white processed sugar. It's not good for you, but it's not end of the world if you would use it. You should understand that it's 20 kilocalories in a teaspoon of sugar. It's not so much if you put it in your. It's not good for you. It's lacking minerals and any good thing for you. If you eat it too much, it's a danger for diabetes, and it actually affects the blood vessels. If you can imagine the crystals of the sugar scratching your blood vessels. You know, it's to this point they say it's not good for you. But next lines, if you see what it says, it's even worse. it goes artificial sweeteners. Guys, and now I want you to pay attention, because we are being attacked. We are under attack. And we're fooled like fools. Because if you listen to the Splenda commercial, first of all, the word Splenda sounds beautiful. For English-speaking people, what is a Russian for Splenda? No. Splenda это прекрасно, это вот замечательно. Да, замечательно. It's something called fantastically замечательно, beautiful. Its actual name is sucralose. Если вы посмотрите на формулу, которую я написала вам там, посмотрите на формулу sucralose. Мы все учили chemistry, we all learn chemistry. Does it look like anything similar to formula of glucose? Nothing. This doesn't look like it. It's actually closer in structure to pesticides. We know what pesticide is, girls? It's not good for you in any shape and form. It says it doesn't have a calorie. It's true. Body doesn't perceive it as food. There is no calorie comes to the body from that. What comes from that, and they write it. First of all, U.S. government National Toxicology Program lists saccharin, which is similar to this, as an anticipated carcinogen. Can you imagine, guys? And all these formulas, when it's being break down in our body, some of them end up as a formaldehyde. You know what formaldehyde is? You know, in the medical schools, they store like heart and intestine and everything in formaldehyde. And it happens inside our body when Splenda being broken down. There is a test you can see. They said when used, it yields such a poison as insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides. It can invade every nook and cranny of your body. It means when you look at something, you can have a health product. You can have protein mixtures, the protein mixes, and if you see sucralose, you should know it should be like a bell ringing. If you look at the juices or water saying sweetened with Splenda or aspartame, don't bring it in your house. It's a horrendous thing. It can't be. You cannot. Look what aspartame is. Let's read it. Discovered to be 180 times sweeter than sugar. The drug aspartame, aspartyl phenylalanine 1-methyl ester, is found in thousands of food and beverages as an artificial sweetener. Initially touted as an anti-ulcer drug, it failed approval due to its carcinogenic properties. They were trying to use it first to heal the ulcer. But in the studies it showed that it doesn't heal ulcer, it gives you cancer. With little fanfare and scourge of conflicts of interest, the drug was later approved as artificial sweetener. Can you imagine? Because it has a sweet taste. If you go into your medicine cabinet and you try something like toothpaste, tastes sweet. Okay, let's put it on a sandwich. This is what happened. They had something was used as a drug for something, but it tasted sweet. And they allowed it, and aspartame is everywhere. You know, I don't know how to, you know, you feel like screaming. And it's another thing. If you think that somebody cares about you enough, like government, like the company which produced something, don't fool yourself. As Rabbi Karpilovsky told us today, they care only about money. They're completely not interested in making us healthier. But we're responsible because cell walls and DNA, our genetic map of human life, become potential casualties of this war. Because this is what these things affect. They actually affect the DNA, the birth defects, all these things can happen. And then cancer, what is a cancer? When DNA is affected and new cells being built wrongly, wrong way, this is a cancer. For us to look and take and bring in our house something which, hey, hello, you drink Diet Coke, you eat diet yogurts, because it says no sugar. You're not satisfied, you still want to eat, and you eat something else and something else, and you think that those 5 wasn't counted.
So what's produced dopamine?
What's produced dopamine? Something which you're really satisfied. You took an apple, you ate, it was sugar, and you thought you feel good. You ate something yummy, and you got energy with it, calorie, and your body said, I ate. Lipton is turned on, I'm not hungry anymore. If instead you take a thing of Diet Coke, or diet whatever, or diet yogurt, you ate it, it kind of tastes sweet, but it doesn't have a calorie with it, because it's a 0 fat there, and it's 0 sugar, because it has aspartame, or Splenda. You ate it, but your body is not full. Then you go to the fridge again. You're looking for something else, because you kind of ate, but you didn't eat. Because eating has to be, your body counts calorie and your body counts taste. When you're fooled by taste, you're not fooled by calorie. And people who told us, oh, there is no calorie, go ahead, they don't tell us that there is research is coming saying that you're not losing weight, you're gaining weight. And you see America, you see, that there are French paradox. You know what is a French paradox? They don't eat all over. They sit down and they eat fat. They eat real protein. And they eat and they drink wine. All of these dense caloric things. First of all, they eat small portion. Another thing, how they eat. They have a very big lunch break. French don't eat in a car. French eat in a restaurant.
French work from 9 until 4.
We know that it's in Italy. You know that in Spain, the siesta, how we eat. It's a very, very important. If you eat, if you're in a rush, and I used to have a little puppets to show, the little bear and the little girl, Mashinka and the bear. And Mashinka walking and she sees the bear, and Mashinka running. When Mashinka running, her body is not meant to digest food. Mashinka wouldn't be eating pirozhok at this moment. Mashinka would run because all the blood rushing into the muscles to run. When you don't see a bear in your car when you're running late. It's 7:30 in the morning, you have to be somewhere at 8:30. But you're already late. Even you're you're in a rush. This is why when we were talking last time, do we eat breakfast in the morning when you were like this? No. Well, you won't digest anything. Because the blood doesn't come to your stomach. Under stress, it's better not to eat. Because food won't be absorbed. It just makes you feel bad. And it will rot in you. It putrefied. They say it's actually starts rotting, create bloating and all the psoriasis. This is why when you sit down to eat, like Rambam says to sit down. When you sit down, you say your brocha, you eat, you don't talk while you eat because you're concentrating. You look at what you're eating, you're, releasing the godly spark which is in the food. It has to be. It's better, you know, you have to. You know, okay, what is possible? I will be straight with you. Diabetes possible, amputated limbs possible, heart attacks possible. You're young and beautiful. I'm actually closer to this thing, you know. It's actually very scary because things stares in your face. If you don't do that, as I said, when we were leaving, I told the girls, it's very interesting because you're not my audience actually. I would like these girls to be my audience and you to be my audience. Why? Because if we don't learn it now, in 20 years, she wouldn't remember my name and I wouldn't remember her name because it would be Alzheimer. Because majority of people end up, you know, we can't joke. It's a reality of life. If we don't do it now, if we don't do it, who will do it for us? It's not government. You know, we are responsible. Знаешь, каждый человек, каждый утопающий, как это? Спасение утопающего, дело рук самих утопающих.
Это не потому, что мы не хотим, потому что маленькие дети.
You know, I have to tell you, some people don't have little children anymore. They still don't do it. You have still, your body has a, you know, built-in protection. But I'm not telling you to do a lot. After last class, we decided that we will drink our water with lemon juice and water.
Я уже год это пью.
Okay, you have to think about it. We have to analyze it. You have to give me a call and we'll think of something else. Because you can't just have it. Your tummy has to drink warm.
Для меня warm лучше.
You are your own healer. Listen to you. Ask Hashem to give you wisdom to find the right foods, to do the right thing for yourself. Because it's not one size fits all, but we all have to learn, and eventually you get it. We're sitting like we're talking together. We're all different. Everybody have different weaknesses. You know, it was just a flu in the city. One person have diarrhea, and some people have whatever. Your weak place will give, you know. But we know our own strengths and weaknesses, and all of us, people who eat very fast, don't give excuse that it's only time I could. God forbid if somebody would be sick, you know. Let's not. It's a very Jewish approach. Our body, it's not ours. It's given to us by Hashem to do mitzvahs. Can we do mitzvah with one body? You can't. They say that a sick person can't do avoda. They don't have a koch to do avoda. They're too busy with aches and you know, tzuruses. We have to do it. And as I said last time we were together, there is a laws of eating. Can you really look at a piece of garbage and say, brocha on it and say, I eat it in order to do avodah of Hashem, to do God's service, to serve Hashem with all myself. No, if you're looking at this Twinkie, you know that after you eat it, your blood sugar will go like this. You start screaming at children. You would be unpleasant to your husband. You won't have a koch to daven. You know, it's like, as simple as that. If you're an honest person looking at something and say, brocha, Hashem who created this, you know. I don't want to preach because I'm as guilty as the next one, you know. But when you say I can't do it, if you sit down with your friend and she'll give advice to you and you give advice to her, you'll say, this beautiful Jewish woman, she should find a place and time to treat herself as she's supposed to be treated. Because if she's okay, her family will be okay. If, God forbid, mother is falling apart, what's happened with the household? God forbid. I know they will make the kiddush, the Shabbos. They go and buy ready-made food. Do you want your family eating ready-made food for, you know? But I'm saying that we have a responsibility to somehow to find, to carve the place for ourselves, to treat ourselves as we're supposed to be treated. With respect, with care, and thoughtfully. And to be, you know, as my grandmother used to say, that the husband is a head, and the wife is a neck. We don't have to fight with them. Wherever neck turns, there where head is looking. You don't have to fight with your family, making them to change things. Little by little, you change yourself. Then they see you're doing well, and little by little they start eating healthier food. And you know for sure that there is no compromise with whatever says on the bottom of the page, where my little picture is crying. See the guy, the little smiley face is not smiling. And I didn't even put regular white sugar there. If you occasionally use regular white sugar, you know, it's not the best, but it's not that. At least it's a sugar. It's not, you know, pesticide. And don't let, you know, the people who don't care about you to fool you. The commercials, you know. Okay, guys, questions? Да, Танечка.
Вот эти вот chia seeds, что, можно еще раз кому-нибудь подробнее рассказать? Кроме варенья, так сказать.
Chia seeds, it's a wonderful thing. If you remember commercials, chia, do you remember that it's it's like a little barashek or head made out of clay. Oh, this is a very beautiful thing. This is you can put it on top of your cereal, or actually you can put it on your chocolate and give them as a candy. Do like this. Put it like, look at what Bruля has. It's a wonderful
Дорогой, как я не знаю, что. Ну это намного.
It's a chia, buckwheat, and what else? And ham. It's a fantastic protein.
Но молоть не надо их.
No.
Когда надо молоть, когда не надо.
You know, flaxseed, guys, flaxseed has to be grounded. Yeah, but this is probably already or any пророщенные. They're sprouted. Are they sprouted?
Sprouted, chia, you don't have to.
Buckwheat has to be sprouted. In order to eat it, if you eat it like on a something.
Ты же не будешь сырую гречку есть, правильно?
No, if it was sprouted, you can actually eat it. Так надо
almonds идет.
I actually don't.
Буду посыпать туда, пока не открыла еще.
Где ты купила?
Вопрос. А что ты будешь с этим делать? Как ты это будешь делать?
This is a question because there is a buckwheat. I don't know how to
Они туда пойдут, они
chia. What was done with chia? Chia is a tiny little seed. Tiny little seed. How they do it? They put глиняный, the clay pot, soak it with water, and they put chia, and then начинает расти быстро. It grows very fast.
У него эффект такой, как у флаксид?
It's better than flaxseed. Why it's better? Because it doesn't have to be grounded.
Да, но куда мы его, варенье, что
you can put варенье, you can make yogurt. On Facebook, become my friend. And I will send to you, there is a 10 usages of chia seeds.
Спечатай лучше, я не люблю этот Facebook, там говорятся.
Okay, take yourself a name, you know, your grandmother's maiden name, and don't be your name, and don't put any pictures, just you know, you don't have to have your name. Create the image.
Оно же в желудке тоже должно разбухать, потому что там влажная среда.
It's very interesting. It's not as влажная. It's not because it's just moist. In intestine, it's hydrochloric acid. Соляная кислота. It breaks down protein, and it goes further, and fat being absorbed because we have a gallbladder, and желчь, the bile, breaks down the fat, which flaxseed has. This one has omega-3 too, healthy fat.
Нет, вы сказали, что флаксид должен быть обязательно grounded.
If you don't ground it, you will actually see it in the poop.
The way that it goes from up,
it doesn't break it down.
Прочистить как ёршиком.
It doesn't. You have to ground it. Otherwise, it doesn't continue. It's not that mechanical clean. What mechanically cleaning? It's cellulose is celery. It goes pectin from apples. It absorbs the sleeves. You know, one day we should sit down and talk about animals.
Давай попозже. А вот это нужно мыть перед употреблением? И вот это тоже, да?
I don't know this particular product, but for example, you're baking. You want to be egg-free if you're baking.
No.
You measure 2 tablespoons of flaxseed or chia on a 1/3 cup of water. Дать постоять, let us say, and it becomes jelly.
Говорят, вот этот фарш можно давать всюду, что-то.
You can put it вместо яиц. I never put it in a farce. You know, try it, but it works as egg substitute. Whatever you would
Не вместо, а просто добавлять, потому что это
You can add it because it's omega-3. This is a very interesting point. Omega-3, especially flax, you know, this image you have to have in your head. Like logic. Try to use your logic. Coconut oil grows in a very hot climate on this island. It's heated. Heat doesn't affect it. Flax, lawn, grows in the northern places. It's actually affected even by light. This is why we keep it in the fridge.
Вообще это все надо в морозилку.
It's better, you know, like all the seeds and flax we should keep in the fridge.
Настоящую овсянку тоже вроде там держать в фридже, они пишут.
You know, in Israel they keep everything in the fridge. They keep flour in the fridge. They keep rice and why? Because very fast things start начинаются мошки разводиться. There is a larva of the mole. And right, you know, when people get into infestation, it's very often, you know, everywhere you open and everything like has a pautina, you know, whatever. It's very scary. When you keep it in the fridge, it won't happen. And this is why we check our rice. When you cook something, you just, you know, on your white plate, you just, it's a few seconds before you put, you know, cup or whatever. And you see, it's very recognizable as something there, which is not. If you can keep it in the fridge, it would be best. But this is the idea of cooking. This is why I say when flaxseed, you ground your flaxseed, keep it in the fridge, put 1 jar with a little bit of cinnamon, little bit of whatever, and put it on your cereal. Another one with the spices, with the whatever, put it on your salad. You know, like basil, hummus. Yeah, something which you don't, there is no thermal, when you don't...
What about hemp seed?
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's a perfect protein.
And you don't need to ground it. You don't need to ground it.
You don't need to ground it. For some reason, hemp seed is being okay. But in our recipe for hummus, I actually didn't put them in. But there is a hemp seed. And hemp seed is a fantastic protein. In this
все закрыто.
you want to pass it? And again, there's add this thing. Yeah, add this thing to your food.
Очень полезно. Они такие вкусные. Я меняю, да, как семечки, как делаешь, когда...
Она делает такой nutty flavor.
It's a nutty flavor, and it's so many, it's such incredible product.
Это either or, или я буду combine это.
See, it's a very good question. Guys, the question is, you either or question is you put this seed or that seed. It's like a flora in your stomach. More different things you have, better it is with seeds. But there is another little approach. It's a microbiotic approach. In microbiotics, they usually don't do more than 3-4 vegetables when they do stir fry. You know, I have a friend, and she usually makes soup, and it's like everything which she has go in the soup. And a mushroom, and an onion, and a garlic, and a celery, and a salad, and everything goes in the soup. Which is yummy, soup is good. But your body, and it's a Rambam expression, he said, for different food you have a different stomach. Different things digest at different times. It means if you make your stir fry, do 3-4 things. You know what I mean? Don't overdo like everything, because your body has to digest this and that, and add it like this. But with the seeds, you can have a different. Know how it works?
You can have.
With seeds, you can. You're good to have, because you have all of little bit of this.
Она вкусная.
Нет, это... Она застыла. Посмотри, look how fast it's cooking. Да.
Я не знаю, мне так... Я всегда...
Guys, and look how cute those guys are. See, and this was this is spelt, which I would refer to this gluten-free. See, this is a spelt one. Those pretzels were spelt. We prefer spelt ones. And I have to tell you, we used up just a half a, that's a third of a cup, third of a bag. It's a cute little dessert, don't you think so? Okay, I'm searching for, yay!
Я просто импрессия с этими семечками, я просто не по шоколаду.
But I have to tell you, if something to be, this is a time to look into Purim. Imagine you make the little box, and they have a dollar store, have a little containers. It's like a paper, things like this. You know, you make your little chocolate in the little container. Yeah, the Valentine, they have a container. I know. And this is things, and you make a label, and you put your ingredients and the recipe, and here is your beautiful, you know, thoughtful, instead of sending your friends you know.
У меня еще один вопрос.
Да.
Когда в пластмассовых бутылках и стеклянных, вот, например, тот же maple syrup.
It's a very good question. It's a very good question.
Я стараюсь стеклянные покупать. Я тоже стараюсь, но
it's a better glass.
Не всегда найдешь. А еще, Леночка, вы в прошлый раз говорили про консервы.
BPA.
BPA.
Yeah. BPA, and again,
это пластмасса.
BPA free. It has a...
В железных банках,
железных банках, when you open the jar, you see the white inside. Because in order the tin doesn't react with whatever inside, that it doesn't rust, they put this thing.
Почему говорят, нельзя покупать, допустим, туну, чтобы была ударенная, или что-то ты в кянс покупаешь, нельзя, чтобы ударено, потому что она может делать реакцию внутри. Ты испортила жизнь, и внутри вот это вот оно уже...
Все вынимать, да?
Сразу вынимать. Ты открыла, и ты должна...
You should try, you know, today I was in the garage and I stopped and I bought canned tomatoes. And it was $1.97. It's more expensive than a regular for $1.29, but it's BPA free. You know, and you make your sauce.
BPA.
Yeah. You know, the whatever plastic.
Они сейчас везде пишут BPA free.
It's a very, very good point. Dr. Mercola, if you go on the site of Dr. Mercola, he says there is a different plastics. Some of it BPA, and some of it it's like whole alphabet, BP something else. And they don't have BPA, they invented something else. I wouldn't be, as Rabbi Karpilovsky said, I wouldn't trust like over there, like whoever has an interest into fooling or making more money. No, it's very inert. It's very inert. It, by definition, it doesn't affect things. It doesn't.
Очень хорошие цветочки стеклянные сейчас.
It means you should try. You should, for storage, guys, it's very simple to use your used containers. You buy your whatever in a jar, then you have to. The problem is if you buy it, it's not made in Israel. You actually have to toil it. because you start using it as a dish, which is a very whatever. But you store in it, you know, whatever it is. All my things like dry goods, I store in the big jars from you know, plastic pickles, you know, and we always have them. You know, there's a it's better to keep it.
Такие красивые пластиковые всякие.
Yeah, I know. It's very hard. But little by it's a lot of things we have to little by little divorce ourselves from. For example, little by little parchment paper. I'm a very frugal person. Like when I made my things, I don't throw it right away. Like, what happened? You know, I would fold it and I put it in a plastic bag and I write that it was a nut thing because, you know. And I will use it maybe one or twice. I'm not gonna live for it forever, but I use it twice at least. It means you have your trays. You don't use your the pan with
aluminum.
Teflon. You don't use your Teflon. Little by little, and you get rid of. You know, it's a project, and all of us, because we cook so much, one thing you can afford, it's a decent dishes and decent knives. Приличную посуду.
Купил мне себе тарелку нормальную.
Керамик ножи сейчас появились здесь.
It's very good. If you want ceramic knives, there is a gorgeous эмалированные, тяжелые, знаете, дорогие казаны. You know,
они такие дорогие, по 200
but I know. But I'll give you a little advice. You can go and buy чугунные, but make sure it has to be kosher. If you buy cast iron, listen to me, it's a very interesting point. If you buy cast iron made in China, it has to be not only toiled, but it has to be kosher, because they transport one in another, sitting in another, and in order for them not to stick together, they put animal fats. It means we have to kosher it and then you toil. But it's cheaper and it's a good cast iron. I don't know if you grew up. You know, I close my eyes, I can see we have
как эти сковородки. Эту сковородку я двумя руками должна
поднять. You know,
но эмалированное это не...
You know,
нельзя перекошировать. Вот это у меня
it's like
гладенькое.
You can't kosher it if something happens.
No, but to use it. That's it. Everything is kosher.
And there is if there is a God forbid crack, знаешь, черные эти, you're done.
Я люблю мисочку.
You know, it's good to have a thick bottom. There is a few layers on the bottom. Толстый, но чтобы оно не горело. And stainless steel. Something doesn't have a... They say the cast iron, if you cook in it tomato sauce, it actually draws iron into tomato sauce. It's good for you.
A problem for somebody who has a high iron.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Majority of people, you know, especially young people, they don't have. But iron as a copper can be toxic. Titanium. I don't know. I actually don't know about titanium. Pauline, what do you think?
Они продаются только в очень дорогих магазинах, там сковородка по $200.
Maybe they're very good.
Там не нужно масло. They need oil.
See, it's a very interesting. See, you don't have to put oil. One of the cooking, like microbiotic cooking, you put water and then oil. As soon as there is water in a pan, its temperature won't go high. You will have a flavor of the oil, but you won't have, it doesn't go higher than 100 degrees. Do you follow what I mean? If you put, for example, you want to stir fry vegetables.
Я не делаю это для flavor. Я не хочу дополнительных калорий с этого масла.
I want to tell you something. Next class going to be fats. And it's very important. Healthy fats, we need them. Prevention of Alzheimer, developing brain of a child, we need fats. We actually, for last 30 years, from 80s, they have started low-fat, high-carb, healthy carb diet. And we have a result now, the Parkinson's and Alzheimer, people who for 20 years were watching their fats, their nerves, their brains.
But any fruit and vegetables and any product has the natural fat, which is enough.
Fruits don't have natural fat.
No, not fruits, but vegetables or some like meat, for example.
Fruits and vegetables don't have fat. But we're talking about choosing healthy fat. You don't have to say, I'm not going to eat avocado because it has a fat. If you're talking about pizza, just 1 week, or you're living it. Okay, guys. Ola suggested that we have a list of ideas, what you want to learn. And because what we started, I understand what we started, what we were talking before, we have like a course with the topics which coming, every topic which is interested for you. And some topics maybe you're not interested, but you need to know. Maybe you didn't want me to tell you about sweeteners, but I volunteered. And terrified you, I hope, thoroughly that you won't let any sucralose, plant...
Вот это не хорошая сила, вот это...
No, I want to talk about this one. Yeah, some alcohol, something which ends with all. Xylitol, ethanol, it's all signs of the alcohol. It's a chemical element, alcohol. They all have a sweetness. This thing, it's xylitol, guys, can you just for a second? Xylitol, it's a very interesting product. It has a very low calorie, sweet without guilt, they say. Low carb, low calorie, diabetes safe. But it has a laxative effect. Laxative, слабительный. Some people like it, and actually you can cook with it. I think you can bake with it quite successfully. But I'm not a big fan of it. I bought it in order to show. I don't know, whatever. You can try it. They say that it's because very often we have a problem with the teeth because of acidity of the saliva. Guys, acidity of the saliva, it's dangerous for our teeth. It's caries of the teeth happen because the saliva acidic. In our mouth, we have to have alkaline environment. But eating sweet, it's making acidic. This doesn't make it acidic because it's alcohol. We all have to refresh our chemistry. Probably girls. Do you take science?
Science or chemistry?
Chemistry is a part of science, isn't it?
We do separate classes, but
you will know your, alkaline, acidic, whatever. What is alcohol? How the place changes by eating different food. It's actually very important. We have people who went through the Russian educational system, and I hope we all remember our chemistry. Test going to be next time. Okay, thank you very much for your study.